You have come to the right place, and welcome to the review for the Aorus FI27Q-X. Let's get into it. Just a quick reminder here before we get started. I'm not a tech expert, and I do not claim myself to be a tech expert, but what I do here is I take a look at consumer electronics, such as gaming monitors, and I look at them through the lens of your average consumer, maybe slightly more advanced, but I will not be diving into any hardcore numbers here. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the Gigabyte Aorus FI27Q-X gaming monitor. This is a 27-inch IPS monitor, 240Hz refresh rate, 2560 by 1440 resolution, aka 2K. The response time is 1 millisecond, gray to gray, and it can even go down to 0.3 milliseconds. It is backlit, it does have backlight strobing, and it is a non-glare panel. It has 10-bit color, and it is Visa certified display HDR. So as you can see, this is a beast of a monitor, has a lot of really good specs on it, but is it as good as people say it is? Another thing I want to mention real quick is I'm going to be comparing this to the Acer Predator XB273UGX, as well as the Acer Nitro XV272UX, and the Alienware 2721D, because all these monitors are in the exact same market. They're all 240Hz, 1440p monitors. Everybody wants to know which one's the best. Okay, now so for this review, do I want to start off with the cons or the pros? I don't know. It's a bit of a new layout for me doing pros and cons in a review. But let me just flip a coin real quick and see what I end up with. So tails is cons, heads is pros. And there you have it. So we are going to start off with the cons. Don't worry, this will be very quick. Okay, so a couple different things to start off. These are not big deals. This is just a couple things I just wanted to mention in case you like to make good use of them. So the Aorus comes with the HDMI plugins, of course the DisplayPort plugins, some USB plugins, a microphone jack, a headphone jack. So it comes with basically everything you'd expect, except there is no USB-C input. So pretty much if you make good use of that and you maybe charge your phone through your monitor, or just use it to transfer data, or whatever the other uses may be for that, there is no USB-C port on this monitor, which quite frankly I was surprised by because all the other ones that I've tried have the USB-C. Another thing that is just not a huge deal is that this Aorus does not come with a headphone hook, meaning there's nothing that sticks out that you can put your headphones on the back of it. I know there are some people that make use of that feature, but this monitor does not have that. Alright, and perhaps the biggest con, no actually this is the biggest con of the entire monitor, is that it comes built in with the BGR subpixel layout as opposed to the RGB subpixel layout. The RGB subpixel layout is the much more commonly used one, probably 99% of all monitors ever. And what it does is it goes from left to right, red, green, blue on text. So if you were to zoom in on the text on your screen, so let's say you're typing in Microsoft Word or Google Docs, or even in the YouTube search bar for The Right Place, you would see that from left to right, the different colors go red, green, blue. And this looks good to the eye. This looks really good to the eye. It makes it sharp, makes it clear, and it's not noticeable that there are even colors being put in there. This is only noticeable if you zoom way in, with a camera, of course. But this Gigabyte Aorus FI27Q-X uses a BGR subpixel layout, meaning blue, green, red. So from left to right, it goes blue to green to red. And this has universally been a problem. Whenever a monitor uses this, the text does not look as sharp or as good. So as a result of that, a lot of text, so let's say you're on Google Docs, and you're typing something, you'll notice that the text has an off-color hue to it. There's kind of like an aura around the letters, or even in the letters themselves. You can notice a purple hue, a red hue, a green hue, a yellow hue, an orange hue, and it's kind of distracting. It almost looks like the letters are kind of glowing, and it just doesn't look as sharp or as crisp as if it were an RGB sub-pixel layout. And here in this picture, you can actually see what I'm talking about. This is exactly how it looked to the naked eye. This is exactly how it looked from where I was sitting at my desk. And as you can see, it's a little bit of an eyesore. It's kind of distracting there. And trust me, this does make a decently noticeable difference. After I was done using this monitor and returned it, and I went back to using my FI27Q-X, the Acer Predator, I instantly recognized the difference between the RGB subpixel layout and the BGR. It's pretty striking, especially for someone like me who does a lot of typing and a lot of reading online. But we'll get more in depth on that later towards the conclusion of the review. Okay, yep, that was pretty painless. So those were the cons, at least all the cons that I could think of about this monitor. Let's get into the pros now. Looks and design. Let's talk about that. First thing I want to mention, this is easily the coolest looking monitor I've ever personally owned and probably ever seen. This is a really flashy, really cool looking monitor. It's basically exactly the kind of monitor that a gamer would be looking for in terms of looks. From the awesome lights to the Aorus logo to the futuristic looking stand, this is just a very, very eye-pleasing monitor for sure. Another thing is that this monitor is just not that heavy. So it's not too heavy, but it still feels sturdy and solid. It does not wobble. If you watch my review of the FI27Q-X, you'll remember that I said that it pretty much wobbled like a bobblehead. This one does not. This is a very sturdy monitor that does not wobble. You can bump into your desk. It's like the GX. It does not wobble. So that is a very positive point. And also the stand on this monitor sits pretty far back. So I put it in the corner of my desk. You've seen my setup. And it sits far back into the corner, meaning that the legs don't stick out too far in front of the screen. Basically, the two long legs reach out just to the border of the actual panel. So they're actually not even sticking out past where the panel is resting above, if that makes any sense. Now, they are decently long legs, but they're designed really well so that they don't overly protrude outward and take up any workspace. So overall, I really love the design of those legs. The monitor swivels very nicely. That's something I always take note of. This is a completely buttery smooth swivel, and you can even turn it 90 degrees to the right side. So you can put it completely vertical if you want to. Only to the right side, that's not a huge deal. This monitor has an extremely thin bezel, meaning it's not taking up any more space than it really needs to. Now let's talk about the anti-glare coating on this monitor. Its anti-glare coating is not noticeable in the least. But it works as good as anything, really. So in fact, as soon as I switched back to my GX from using the Aorus, I instantly noticed that the anti-glare coating was thicker and more noticeable on the GX, which I had never even realized before. So that just shows how unnoticeable this anti-glare coating is, but it works just as well. So that is a very positive note. Especially I saw some people who reviewed the Omen, the HP Omen, and they said that the anti-glare coating looked terrible. It looked like there was Vaseline smeared all over the screen, something like that. This Aorus is nothing like that. It's completely transparent. You can't even notice it, and it works just as good as anything. All right, honestly, this next thing is one of my favorite parts of the entire monitor. The menu control stick, right, is so easy to use. It's highly efficient. As opposed to having 5 or 6 different buttons on the back of the monitor. This thing just uses one stick to control all the different options in the whole menu screen. One stick controls everything, and it's easier to access since it's directly underneath the front of the panel near the logo. So you're not having to awkwardly reach around the back of your monitor and clumsily feel around for which button you need to press for a specific thing. Nope, just one press of the stick that's literally right there in front of you, and you're already well on your way to picking your options. It's just, quite frankly, the easiest stick design I've ever seen or used to control the different menu options. Just one click of the one button, and you have all the features right there to tinker with. Gigabyte did a really spectacular job on this, of simplifying the navigation. Alright, and if you've seen my previous reviews, you know I'm a big fan of that cable organizing hole in the stand of the monitor. This has a giant gaping hole, so you can fit all of your cables easily through that hole in the back of the stand. So that is a very positive note for me. Let's get into the colors and the features. Okay, so undoubtedly this panel, I'm just gonna say it right now, it has the best colors I've ever seen on anything ever. I don't think I've ever even seen a TV with this good of colors. I mean, I'm telling you, these are the best colors I've ever seen. It's legitimately breathtaking, the depth of the color and just how gorgeous and how full everything looks on here. Now, out of the box, the colors are already outstanding. I mean, they're crisp, clean, rich, vibrant, true to life colors that are easily adjustable, and they have a plethora of settings that you can mess around with. And quite frankly, this panel rivals the Alienware 2721D with just how many different color settings there are. There's almost an overabundance of all the different settings you can tinker with here for the colors. And besides that fact that there are a ton of color options, there are also multiple response time options, multiple gaming options, sharpness options, and more. And these options are easy and even fun to mess around with, which brings me to my next point. And the next point is you could set up the colors and display exactly as you want. Picture perfect. Just a few flicks of the stick and you're completely satisfied with how this looks. And if you're not satisfied with it, there is a reset button that just resets it all back to the factory settings, and you can just tinker with it from there again. And like I said before, honestly, the out-of-the-box colors are probably going to be good enough for most people. Okay, so if you've seen my review of the Acer Predator FI27Q-X, which I'll link it right up there in the top right corner, you'll know that there are pink hues like on white backgrounds on that monitor. It just looks pink. It's very odd. However, the Aorus does not have the slightest trace of pink when on white backgrounds. It's just a pure, crisp, true white color, which for me was something beautiful to behold coming from the GX. Okay, performance. How does this monitor even perform? So at 240 Hertz, this is probably the most smooth display I've laid my eyes on ever. Or at least it's one of the smoothest displays I've ever laid my eyes on. It really rivals the GX in terms of just, how smooth it can be. It's really pretty awesome. And now it has FreeSync Premium, and that FreeSync Premium really shines on this monitor, as it did with the Nitro, if you see my review, which I'll also put a link right up there in the top right corner. People really just don't give enough praise to FreeSync Premium, so I'm here once again to rep it and say that I even prefer it to G-Sync compatible, and probably, in my honest opinion, compared to the G-Sync module in the Alienware. I'd even prefer that over that G-Sync module. Now, of course, that's just my opinion. But really the two smoothest panels I've ever used have both had FreeSync Premium, which is the Nitro, the Acer Nitro, and this Aorus. So now that I've used it enough at this point, there's no mistaking that I definitely rather have a monitor with FreeSync Premium as opposed to G-Sync compatible and optional FreeSync. These are just my honest thoughts. Super buttery smooth. It's just awesome. Okay, so I did a little experiment, and I tried every refresh rate possible with this monitor. And I took notes as I played multiple different games with those different refresh rates to see what the effects were on each refresh rate on this monitor. Would it ghost? Would there be overshoot? Image retention? Well, here are the notes that I took. So the monitor can go to 200 Hz, 165 Hz, 144 Hz, 120 Hz, and its lowest is 60 Hz. So I tried each refresh rate on the UFO ghosting site in a couple different games and took notes. Okay, so at 200 Hz, there's no noticeable overshoot on the UFOs, and games still look buttery smooth. Everything still looks basically like it's at 240 Hz, which I found very impressive. Next setting, 165 Hz, there's no noticeable overshoot or ghosting. Once again, the games still look incredible. Okay, 144 Hz, there's still no noticeable overshoot. The UFOs look great, and games look good. At 120 Hz, it's much more choppy than what I'm used to. That's only because I've been spoiled by 240 Hz. But I still can't see any noticeable overshoot or ghosting on anything. It looks very good still. Okay, at the lowest setting, 60 Hz. Now, at 60 Hz, there is noticeable ghosting. The UFOs leave behind lighter colored blue streaks. Now, I booted up trusty old Minecraft, and focusing on a block and moving from left to right leaves white smudging on either side of said block, and I have a video right here to show that. So as you can see, there is some smudging, ghosting, overshoot, whatever you want to call it. that results from focusing on one object and just moving from left to right. So it is noticeable. The UFOs, like I said, left behind blue streaks. So basically, only at 60 hertz will you notice any ghosting or overshoot. And I tried multiple games on all these different settings. Anything 120 hertz and up looked perfectly fine, buttery smooth. Now that blew my socks off doing that little experiment. That shows just how versatile this monitor is. Now I'm sure once Bijan Shamshidi does his video, he'll probably have pictures and all sorts of different charts showing the different numbers for that. Yeah, I don't know how to do that, but this is just what my own two eyeballs showed me. So as you can see, after reading those notes, it takes until you get to the lowest possible setting, 60 hertz, to even notice any overshoot at all. So that is pretty remarkable in my book. And I also should note that until I went to 60 hertz, before I even tried this experiment, I had never even noticed any ghosting or overshoot while playing any game on it at all or doing anything else. So basically, this is about as good as it gets right here. I mean, 120 hertz all the way to 240 hertz looks stellar. Okay, image retention, backlight bleed, what do we got? There's no image retention that I've noticed. There's no backlight bleed, but there is some glow. So here's a picture of that glow. Obviously, there's going to be some glow on IPS panels in general. It's pretty much inescapable. But on the panel that I received, the glow was very minimal. It's just the complete average amount of glow, I'd even say. But yeah, my monitor had no bleed. I never noticed any bleed while doing anything. And the glow was very minimal, very unobtrusive. It never stuck out. It was never an eyesore. The only time you'd ever notice it is if you're on a pitch black screen in a pitch black room, basically. Okay, so overall, this monitor just performs even better than anticipated. It will no doubt give you a competitive gaming experience, as well as the smoothest experience in general that you'll probably see for a very long time to come. Oh man, so this monitor, as you heard through those points that I made there, this monitor is an absolute beast. I mean, this monitor is literally on the precipice of being perfect. Now, as you saw in this review, there's much more good than bad. As a matter of fact, the only thing that is objectively bad about this monitor is the BGR subpixel layout. It does hinder the experience a bit, especially if you do a lot of reading online, Reddit. In playing games, this has no effect, and seeing as this is a gaming monitor, I would not be quick to dismiss this monitor due to this one issue, since if you're using this monitor for its intended purpose at all, you'll hardly notice it, So as a matter of fact, most people could probably even just overlook it for the most part. But I felt the need to bring this up as it is the biggest issue I had with this monitor. Now, when a monitor is this stinking good, it really makes the issue stand out. And this is really just the one issue. This is the one issue, the one objective issue, I should say. Now, with that said, if you're going to do light gaming and you're going to do a lot of heavy reading, writing, working, or blogging with this panel, just don't be surprised if at some point it becomes an eyesore for you. Like I said, if you are using this gaming monitor for gaming as it's intended, you'll pretty much be just fine, and you most likely won't notice a thing. But yeah, if you're doing a lot of reading, writing, working, blogging, whatever, you'll probably find it to be an eyesore sooner or later. So in conclusion, man, this is a heck of a panel. It even rivals the current monitor king, in my opinion, the Predator GX. This is definitely not a panel to sleep on. If you're looking for a true gaming monitor with breathtaking color, buttery smooth refresh rates, excellent response time, killer aesthetics, an options menu as long as a CVS receipt, crystal clear visuals, and only really one real flaw, then this is the monitor for you, the Gigabyte Aorus FI27Q-X. Alrighty, with all that said, let's continue the new segment I'm doing in my reviews now called Reviewing People's Reviews. So I'm going to go onto the Newegg website, find this monitor, and I'm going to read the reviews on it that people have left. And I'm going to debunk stuff, if at all possible, or confirm things as well. So it looks like there are 18 reviews. I have not read any of them yet, so let's check it out. All right, hopefully you can see that. Take a look at this first review. Written by that guy. Thank you, that guy. Okay, great gaming monitor. The pros, accurate colors, heck yeah. Super speed IPS, yep. Buttery smooth. No backlight bleed, low IPS glow, oh yeah, totally agree. Very responsive, smooth gaming experience, yep. 10-bit, yeah, the 10-bit color is just, oh, outstanding. Monitor's OSD is excellent, yes, thank you. I totally agree. Game assist, customizable crosshairs is a cool feature. I'd actually never use that, but I've heard people say that they're cool, and they almost make it kind of cheating. I am able to use the speed overdrive setting without any noticeable pixel ghosting or trailing. Yes, I noticed the same thing as well. Normally on other monitors, the highest setting will induce this, just like the Alienware. I get the faster response times without the other issues. Oh yeah, thank you that guy, that is true. It's so fast you won't need to enable FreeSync or G-Sync. I don't necessarily agree. I had FreeSync Premium enabled at all times, and it was awesome. So I would suggest doing FreeSync Premium. The cons: aim assist, it's not that great, just don't use it. I never used it either. Okay, so overall review. In today's world, most monitors will use AU, Optronic, or LG panels. This particular monitor uses a panel by Sharp, and this is Sharp's move into the high-end gaming panel sector, and so far I'm pretty impressed. Me too. Buyers need to understand that this is a BGR IPS panel, not RGB IPS. All this means that subpixel layout is reversed. This can cause text clarity issues for some folks, which can be mostly solved by disabling clear text. I've heard that, but I didn't try it. Actually, no, I did try it, and it didn't work. So I don't know about that. That might be a myth. So I made this adjustment, and in the monitor's OSD, I increased the sharpness setting to 8. I had mine at 10. Turned it all the way up, and I have 0 text clarity issues. That's cool. Maybe different panels react differently. I don't know. I bring this up because not many folks will know this nor understand it. They will simply return the monitor thinking there's an issue when there isn't. I encourage folks to read about the differences between a BGR versus RGB pixel layout. I also encourage that. I tried to do my best to explain it earlier. I probably didn't do a good job, but yeah, so definitely go do some research if you're curious about it or kind of scared about it. Like I said, it won't hinder your average gamer most likely, but if you're just a very casual gamer and you're going to use this panel for I don't know, reading, writing, blogging, working, you'll notice it. You will, but how much of an eyesore it is to you really depends on you. So okay, so I played with several different gaming monitors over the past year. Hey, me too. And I would rate this one as very comparable performance-wise to the Acer GX. Yes, exactly. My thoughts exactly. This is the biggest rival to the GX I've found yet. This is a very, very, very good gaming monitor. Heck yeah. Absolutely agree with that guy. Thank you, my man. Ken M. A very nice monitor. Pros, out of the box colors are pretty good. Heck yeah. Turning down vibrancy helps a little bit. Actually, I turned mine pretty far up. I really liked the vibrant colors. The color pops, very vivid and sharp. Yep. HDR does make a difference, but not in games. I don't quite know if I'd agree with that. The HDR was good, I thought. The OSD Sidekick app is great for making display adjustments. I've never used that at all. G-Sync works fine. No dead or stuck pixels. The power cord is... cons. The power cord is 60 inches tip to tip. Make sure it will work for you. Lights behind monitor are useless. What? Bro. I do not agree with that at all. I thought the lights were awesome, man. And they might be customizable, but it came built in with like 4, I think, different settings. I thought it was cool. I don't agree with that. I thought it was pretty cool. And also the power cord is 60 inches tip to tip. That's really not a huge deal, in my opinion. Most people aren't going to have a socket 60 inches away from their monitor, I don't think. Okay, this guy's overall review, Ken's overall review. Still a little early to tell how much better a 240Hz monitor will be in gaming, but so far I like what I see. Any comments on display settings that you find work good for you would be great to see in these reviews. I would never have known the pixels are BGR if this wasn't pointed out in an earlier review. My text is clear and sharp. Using clear type, it doesn't seem to affect any other aspect of color reproduction for most movies, picture games. It's a very nice game monitor. Overall, I would find that helpful. Yeah, I'd say I agree with about 75% of what Mr. Ken here said. Yeah, next review. Brandon H, best gaming monitor ever. I'd almost be inclined to agree. Almost. Just if it wasn't for the BGR. Darn it. But it's still basically... I'm on the fence. I don't know if it would be tied with the GX or not. I'm on the fence on that still. Let's see what he has to say, Mr. Brandon. Pros: colors are great, super smooth, no motion blur, super clear image, as you'd expect with 1440p. Yep. Cons: literally none. Disagree. You heard my cons, but there are only a few, so it's not a big deal. Overall review: I have a 9900K paired with an RT. Okay. Does a perfect job displaying all that power. Yeah. I agree with 85% of what he said. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, Anonymous says, a great monitor. Pros: first thing I noticed that might be hard to tell from stock photos is how the stand is positioned just behind the panel itself. Yes, thank you. I pointed this out as well. It's huge for mouse movement and keyboard placement. That's something my past monitors haven't done well. Yeah, like I said, it frees up a lot of workspace. To add to the above, the adjustable movement you have with this monitor is amazing. Color, picture quality is beautiful. Setup was very simple as well. Cons: none so far. Will add if issues arise. Overall review: if you've been waiting for a jack of all trades type monitor, this is it right here. High quality product worth its price. Heck yeah. Oh, agree. 100% agree. Awesome review. Thank you, Anonymous. Alexander, my man. Nice monitor. Pros: great picture, good build quality. Cons: price. Nope. I do not agree with that. Overall review: not an expert when it comes to monitors. Take this for what it's worth. Blah, 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 blah. Gorgeous picture, no major complaints. Blah, 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 blah. The stand is solid, adjustable. Styling is subtle from the front. If you're worried about looking too gamer, I'd say it's just a beautiful monitor in general. And for gaming, it makes it even better. It looks awesome. Colors seem a bit red or warm from it. Yeah. Come on, man. You can adjust that very easily as well. Just turn down the vibrance. They even have the different red settings and the green and the blue that you can turn down or up. So yeah, not a huge fan of this review, but he was right in saying great picture and good build quality. I'd agree with about 35% of what he said, but nonetheless, thank you, Mr. Alexander. Anonymous says, great product, easy to set, looks sharp, displays perfection. Yeah. Overall review, highly recommended. Would definitely purchase this again. Yeah. I agree 100%. Sweet and simple, to the point. Jordan, great monitor. Great monitor, great pros, great monitor with a great image quality. Love everything about this monitor so far. Highly agree. Con: software was a little buggy at first. Once got everything corrected. Really, I'd be interested to hear what was buggy. Honestly, I'd say it's probably user error. I'd probably say. Anywho, overall review, would definitely recommend. Oh yeah, good review. Thank you, Jordan. I agree with 95% what you said. Chris A. My boy Chris. G-Sync, 240 Hz refresh rate. HDR, the works. Pros, great for gaming. High refresh rate. Screen tear is eliminated. G-Sync HDR 240 refresh. Yeah, ton of features that ensure you will be able to adjust your needs. Built-in RGB. Cons. I really wouldn't know about that. G-Sync requires use of the display port to function. Bottom stand can make placement tricky depending on space, but they don't protrude beyond the monitor. Hey, it's exactly what I said. Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. So I have no clue what that other stuff he was saying was. I don't really know who cares. I think a lot of us use DisplayPort, don't we? Overall review, yes, I would recommend the product and buy again. I'll give him a 40% agreement rate. Thank you, Chris. Let's go to Bay Area. It's like Tampa Bay. If so, go Rays. So far, so good. Great gaming monitor. Pros: 240 Hz display port, 1440p, nice RGB options, IPS panel. Yeah. Cons: price is hefty. Stand can be smaller. No USB-C option. Yep. Agree with the USB-C. Stand can be smaller. It could be, but it looks awesome. Let's be honest. It's solid. It's not too heavy either, as I said. Price is hefty. I mean, you're paying this price for literally probably one of the best, the top 2 monitors on the market. To me, that's well worth the price, especially it'll last you years. Overall review, that's an essay right here. I'm just going to Super buttery and crystal clear. Agreed. There's tons of monitor settings with different gammas and hues, etc, etc. Yep. Way too much for me to make sense of. It was almost too much for me, but it was awesome. Overall, a great purchase for $699. Wait, so if you're saying that here, why would you say that the price is hefty in the cons? That kind of negates that, doesn't it? My only nitpick is the stand. It's just overtly gamey and alien looking. Not as much as Alienware's, man. I mean, that thing was like so heavy, I almost threw my back out just looking at it. It just had all these fancy lights and, you know, sticks out like 90 feet. It's almost jabbing you in the chest as you're just trying to look from a mile away. I think that the Alienware is much more gamey and alien looking. This just looks awesome. It looks like something from Blade Runner. It's really cool looking in my opinion. It doesn't stick out that far. Another great point. The stand takes up more space than it should. I just don't agree, man. I really just don't agree on that. Like, seriously, if you've used the Alienware, you will learn to cherish your desk space after you get rid of it. You'll be just like, wow, there's so much more space here now. So I don't agree with that. So I love it. Gaming with it is awesome. Agreed. I give him a 50% agreement rate. He brought up some kind of just, I don't know, things that just don't really matter. But I respect your opinion, Mr. Bay Area. Anonymous. Oh boy. Received with broken seal. Pros. Seems nice so far and works. I like software option to access controls. The price is good for value. Yeah, agreed. Cons. Front logo Aorus sticker bent out, not stuck down. I pressed it back down and seems to be okay, but might peel back up. Oh no. Monitor reports 1440p even when in 1080p. That's weird. I updated software and firmware, did not fix the problem. Software to access controls is nice, but some options do not stay set. Color out of box is orange and reddish. Well, what? I turn on HDR in Windows, color seems fine now. What? No, it doesn't. Either this guy got a faulty monitor or he's just like not seeing stuff right. I don't know. Overall review. Happy with price for overall value. Not happy with Newegg sending broken seal. This will cost them a lot of lost orders. I mean, dude, that's such a small thing. And if you stuck it down, it's fine. Then what's the deal, you know? If it comes back up, then I'd understand that you might be a little mad, but this guy is like really up in arms about this little thing sticking out. I don't know, he kind of needs to chill. I agree with maybe 40% of what he said. Not even that, probably 30%. I don't know. I mean, I respect the opinion, but I'd like to see it for myself to confirm that this guy isn't just seeing it wrong. Okay, next. Wait, this is the final review. Okay. Awesome. Wow, one egg. Arrived broken. Manufacturer defect. Would be great if it worked. Cons. Manufacturer defect. Random horizontal lines flash every 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah, well, that might not be defect. That could be a cable that's messed up. Monitor shuts off and on. That could be a power problem. This could be a problem with the power cable, or even the plug that it's in. Yeah, 1 to 2 times every 5 minutes. So that could either be like a power problem or there's a capacitor going bad on the motherboard. But yeah, I would send it back if other cables don't fix that, which I'm assuming this guy probably tried that. Overall review, I wouldn't buy until you confirm this isn't an early unit production issue. Definitely not, I would say, but it could be, but that almost sounds to me like some kind of cable issue. I wish he tried. I hope he tried different cables to see if that was the problem. I'm not saying it couldn't be a defective monitor, because it definitely could be. There are a lot of those, but I'll take him at his word. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Give him 100%. But yeah. Okay, so one more thing I forgot to mention earlier. my monitor had some dead pixels. It did. Bit of a shame, but that's just how it went. Here's a picture of some of them. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out my other reviews. I'm doing more reviews now on different topics. So I'm doing music reviews. Hopefully I can get to start doing some movie reviews, TV show reviews. But I love music, so I'm always listening to new albums and stuff that are coming out. So stay tuned for some more monitor reviews. I will have more, definitely, in the future. What else do you want to see me review? Did you like this review? Did you not? Did it suck? Am I a loser? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And all I ask is that you just please keep watching my videos, even if it's on a topic that you're not a huge fan of, like music or movies or whatever. I just ask that you give it a click, maybe watch it, see if it's interesting at all, give me some feedback. That's it. That's all I ask. So thank you guys for watching. You have come to the right place. You are now leaving the right place. Stay safe out there, guys.